Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm. In response to some of my viewers, including Apex 820, who has been asking for this particular course, I finally review Abdominals, the course from Vince Gironda, which I own a very beautiful and original copy of. From reading Vince's Secret Locker Volume 1 by Carl Coyne, I can tell you that there were actually at least 12 different versions of these abdominal courses. And on top of that, Vince also had other courses on abdominals. Now, this is actually, from what I gather from Vince's Secret Locker Volume 1, the second edition that came out. The first one was actually these pages that you can see right now, loose, basically just in loose form. But later, Vince added this cover, this very nice cardboard cover to protect the information. So let's have a quick look. This one's a little stained with water damage, but it's still an original with Vince's original address there. So awesome! I'm so happy to have a copy, an original copy. The table of contents. We can see that Vince will talk about many different aspects of abdominal training, and this is basically 25 years, as he claims in this booklet. This information comes from 25 years of his experience. He talks about metabolism, whether instinctive training really works, how many reps, how many sets, why one shouldn't do leg raises and sit-ups, etc., etc. Let's go quickly through the booklet. I really think it's a great booklet, by the way. Okay. The preference, as I mentioned, Vince Gironda basically says that this is a booklet compiled from his 25 years of training. And as he's always stated, the person that possesses a great set of abdominals, well, it's worth a king's ransom. And I agree. If you have a great set of abs, everyone is jealous. It's fantastic. He does state that the abdominals are probably the most poorly understood muscle group of the whole body. And it's not about doing 10,000 reps, and especially not about training every single day. Throughout the booklet, he basically claims that it is all about your metabolism. And if you store fat, you simply cannot see the abdominals. Or many of us already know this, some of us may not. But he really does frown upon performing hundreds or thousands of repetitions, because it is a shock to the body and actually smooths out your belly, and according to him, it gives you a bloated look. Instead, the most important thing is to treat the abdominals as you would any other muscle, and perform it in a strict manner, perform correct exercises in a strict manner, and with specialization. And basically, the very first thing that he recommends is, in order to get onto an abs specialization program, you can't be a beginner, because apparently it shocks the body and prevents muscle growth, which is what beginners don't really need. But yeah, the most important thing is firstly to be an intermediate or an advanced bodybuilder, and to start shedding the weight. Because if you can't see the muscle, you don't know what exercises to use to specialize. And that's really smart. I really like that about this booklet. As I said, there's stuff on metabolism, basically on increasing your metabolism through several techniques, which I'll explain another time, through supplementation, and he gives a list here. He doesn't believe in instinctive training, and instead talks about educating yourself about the function of the abdominals, and about the exercises that one can use for the abdominals, the correct ones that is, and therefore from that list, which ones you would need based on your abdominal muscle development. Very, very intelligent approach to building abdominals. How much is enough? I already kind of touched on this, but he basically says that you should treat, as it says, how should you consider is enough, 3 to 15 sets, and it's not like doing any more, because it's overwork, and basically, as I already mentioned, it is not necessary. Instead, the intensity, as he claims, is very important, because he's used this analogy many times. But if you look at a marathon runner who runs over a very long period of time, he looks really, really thin. But if you look at a sprinter who runs a short distance as fast as possible with much higher intensity, develops large muscles. And that's basically what muscle building should be about: increasing the intensity of the workout. The more work you do in the less time, the better the muscular development, and that goes for abdominals especially. As I already mentioned, there is no need to really do too many reps and sets. He really goes into depth about the psoas muscle and its function, as well as the quadratus lumboris and other muscles. And he talks about basically the lack of abdominal involvement in exercises such as the leg raises and sit-ups. And as I already mentioned, you should treat your abdominals like any other muscle. I will do a video as well from all the information I've gathered from Vince in regards to abdominals, to give you some more ideas as to how to use Vince Gironda's principles in your ab training workout. What else does he talk about here? So here he actually goes through the different exercises in great detail. Unfortunately, this booklet doesn't actually contain any pictures. I'm sorry, Apex 820. In response to your question, there are no images in this booklet. Sorry. If you want images actually, and more specific abdominal exercise recommendations, especially the exercises. See, this booklet goes through Vince Gironda's philosophy on abdominal training, his diet, and what he considers are the most important points. He doesn't necessarily go into great detail about the exercises, especially visually. He goes through it in the text, and he gives basically information such as performing the frog sit-up. If you don't know about it, you'll have to see a demo, which I might do one time, or look it up on the internet, or look at his book, Unleashing the Wild Physique. There is also other exercises that he talks about, such as the peak contraction double up, which is essentially just the crunch. By the way, did you know that Vince Gironda invented the crunch? If you didn't, well, shame on you, but he did. And it's clearly described here 40, 50 years ago in this booklet. He has other advanced exercises such as the barbell quarter roll, and this other one where you basically lie on a bench and do very small crunch-like motions. And there's only like 4 or 5 exercises explained here, but there's many more in Unleashing the Wild Physique, and I've already done a video on it. I highly recommend that book, by the way. Other than that, after going through all the exercises, which is a rather large section, he then starts talking about never under any circumstances should abdominals be performed every day. That's one of the things he mentions in that last section. Again, he's going through all these exercises, but no images, unfortunately. Then he has a section on myth and facts about abdominals, and finally, he gives you a low carbohydrate diet. Now, this is very similar to the steak and eggs diet, but it is not the steak and eggs diet that I've already talked about for definition. No, this low carbohydrate diet does include some carbohydrates and plenty of vegetables. Essentially, he recommends eating as much meat and eggs as you like, with plenty of green vegetables and one very small serving of carbohydrates. And this diet, which I have never heard of, is the US Air Force Academy diet that he gave out. You heard me right, the US Air Force Academy low carbohydrate diet. You heard it first here at Golden Era Bookworm. And at the end, he also gives a table, a nutritional chart on the carbohydrate content of food, so that it allows you to therefore judge what you should eat and what you should minimize. This booklet, in summary, is fantastic. It gives you lots of information. It doesn't give you the exercise, and I think that's the point. It doesn't give you too much I should say, it does give you information on the exercises, but no pictures. But I think the point about this is that Vince is trying to make you understand that it's not just about the exercises and performing hundreds and hundreds of reps. It is a completely different view that Vince had on training abdominals. It involved diet, changing your metabolism, and changing your way of thinking. There's a lot more to it, and supplementation. The abdominals really was reserved, as you can read from this booklet, for intermediate and advanced trainers because of the shock of the system if you do too much abdominal training too early in your bodybuilding progress. It will stop. That's what Vince would preach and has preached in this booklet. Yeah, it's a great booklet. I'm really glad that I own it, and it is available as a scanned copy, I believe, from www.ironguru.com. So if you want a copy of this booklet, I think it is an ebook or a scanned copy, I'm not sure. I don't know whether it's this version or another version, but you can get it on ironguru.com. Anyway, that's the end of this review of this great booklet. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave me your comments. And thank you for watching. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. Bye for now.